Guys, I dressed like a thief today because white people steal everyone else's culture, and I just want to let you know I'm an ally. So basically, I'm now being informed that white people actually have no culture from a TikTok video that I saw. I've seen multiple videos like this on TikTok where white people apparently have no culture, and that the way these people think is very, very strange, actually. It's so all over the place that I can't even look in the proper direction. It's hard to follow along. But check out this video really quickly.
I am absolutely amazed on how ignorant this girl is. Did she just claim European culture as in white culture?
Yes, European culture is technically white culture. Now, this is kind of hard to follow along because white people do not just have one single culture to them. White people have multiple cultures to them. Every single country has pretty much their own culture, at least most of the time. If you go to Ireland, they have a bit more different of a culture than Scotland does or than Great Britain does. They all have similar cultures. They share many similarities within their cultures, but they're very different as well. They have different things among them. And it's strange to me that first of all, you can clearly see that within the video that this girl had, the first girl said, quote, white people have no culture, because that's one thing that people have been saying a lot, like the second woman that appears that thinks she's some great intellectual. And when the first woman showed the collage of pictures, you could really see that white people have many different cultures, and there's a lot of great things within them. White people have done a lot of bad things, but I don't think we can blame that on the white race. Blaming anything on one race is never a good idea. Because guess what happened? World War II, guess how that started? Because some guy wanted to kill all Jews and take over the world. And then with Stalin, he said that we cannot have the kulaks, so he killed all of them, brought them to the gulags. So you can never really blame anything on a race in particular or a group of people because of something they cannot change. That's always going to end up with a lot of people dead. But what strikes me as strange is the fact that she says at the end that this woman, the first woman, is very ignorant and she doesn't know what she's talking about. Because apparently white people have no culture, which is strange to me as well, because when you look at the pictures that this first woman showed, you can see the paintings, you could see the culture in general. You can see a lot from the paintings back then, which clearly showcase the culture in a very, very good light. There were bad things, once again, but there were a lot of good things. You look at the art from Italy, that is some of the most beautiful stuff I've ever seen in person in real life is, David, the statue of David in Italy. That is very, very beautiful. You look at the Roman Colosseum, that is very beautiful. Of course, the Romans were white, actually. They were very white. They were sometimes tan because Italy gets a lot of sun. So you're going to get tan, but they're technically still white. And then you go from the complete south of Europe to the north, and you're going to have white people and white culture. They're all different cultures, but it's all white culture. And yes, there are varying shades of white that you find within there. For example, if you go to Norway, you're going to find really white people. If you go to Italy, you're going to find more tan white people. But another point that this second woman brought up within the comments as well is that she was trying to separate American culture from European culture, which is true. But I guess for now, let's treat America as just another part of Europe, because we do share a lot of similar bits of culture with Europe. And I think that there's this misconception that's commonly spread throughout schools mainly, that when we first came to the United States, or came to the New World, and then made the United States, that it was all white culture, which seems to always be painted in a bad light, which I'm not sure. The Enlightenment or the Western world, some of the best things that have happened to the whole entire world for humanity is always shut down because it's white or whiteness. And when you find the fact that America is literally a melting pot, then you can realize that, I mean, we're white culture, we don't have a specific white culture that's similar to Europe, at least in the United States, due to the fact that we are the melting pot of the world. You can find so many different cultures within the United States, and there's so many different backgrounds, cultures, all of that that you could never find within any other country, due to the fact that people want to come here. Which is strange because America is always painted in a bad light in whiteness and how bad it is, and yet everybody wants to come here. It's pretty strange, actually. And this reminds me of this thing from the Smithsonian: aspects and assumptions of whiteness and white culture in the United States. The individual is the primary unit. Self reliance, independence, and autonomy highly valued plus rewarded. Individuals assumed to be in control of their environment. You get what you deserve. Objective, rational, linear thinking. Cause and effect relationships. Quantitative emphasis. Those are all painted as bad things, which seems pretty racist to me because then, therefore, you're saying that other races cannot adapt or adopt the same things. For example, being an individual or objective rational thinking. You're saying that black people do not have objective rational thinking. The Smithsonian does not seem very nice to me, due to the fact that they're literally being racist right there. And there are many different people of many different races that have objective, rational, linear thinking, and that are individuals and view the individual as a primary unit that holds things together. And when you look at that, you realize that we have a lot of problems with people viewing white culture as bad. Even saying that there is such thing as white culture seems to, I mean, even for conservatives to say that nowadays, they don't want to go near it because they don't want to seem racist themselves. Because if you say that you're proud of European heritage, then people go, "Oh, he's proud of being white, therefore he's a white supremacist, therefore we have to dox him, we have to kill him." And it goes down a very bad road due to the fact that many of these people, such as the second woman in the video, believe that, well, I guess there is no white culture, and that white people are inherently bad. Which is funny because if I can recall properly, then who came up with the Enlightenment? Like, who were the primary people for the Enlightenment? Or what about the primary people for inventing the Western world, which you now can sit in a very comfortable house without being attacked in? Or now you are not attacked for your race or any of that, due to the fact that we live in the Western world after the Enlightenment. But no, let's just hate on that. Let's hate on that part of things that white people created. Even for conservatives to say something like that nowadays, to say that white people created anything, is somehow frowned upon and looked down as a bad thing. Now, I am definitely not anti any other race or any race. I'm pro people. But people are going to try to twist this as me saying, "Oh, I'm proud of being white, therefore I am proud of this, this, and this, therefore I'm a Nazi, therefore I'm a white supremacist, therefore they must dox me, do this to me," because of all those things that people don't want to objectively, rationally have objective, rational, linear thinking. Which is funny, and it's strange to me that is painted as a white thing. It's not necessarily a white thing, it's just an enlightenment look into things, is wanting to have individual liberties and objective, rational thinking. And a nuclear family, father, mother, and more children. That's all frowned upon and looked down as white. Now, this should signal things to other races as well, specifically black people that are being targeted by this terrible ideology, which really feeds on the minds of black people for them to be controlled by this ideology and therefore be controlled by the people who control the ideology. So you have to watch out for this. Because if you get into this mode of thinking, or then you can agree with the fact that being an individual and viewing the individual as a primary unit is a bad thing, or that objective, rational, linear thinking is a bad thing, you have to watch yourself for that, and you have to make sure you don't fall into that trap, because that leads to bad things. Very, very bad things once you get away from the Enlightenment, the Magna Carta, the individual, all good things about this world, really. Because at this point, we need the Enlightenment. We need a new Enlightenment where I guess we could just redo the old one, because people have gotten so crazy and hate the individual now and hate liberty, hate justice. So I guess we need a new one. But all I'm trying to say is white people do have culture, and I really like my European heritage. I'm part Irish, part Scottish, part German, part Scandinavian, part British. I'm very, very proud of it because my however many greats grandfather was on the Mayflower, and I forget his name at the moment, John Howland, and he came over to the New World as an indentured servant, which is a slave, which people don't realize that pretty much all the white people that came to the New World were slaves. So he was a slave. And people don't realize that, but I'm proud. And he also fell off the Mayflower. He's famous for that. He grabbed onto a rope, got back on. His life was saved because of that rope that hung off the ship. But I'm proud because those were strong men and women that were capable of surviving in a new world, in a new land which they did not know. So I'm very, very proud of that, and I'm proud of the heritage. Although people are going to take that out of context and basically put over a Confederate flag and say, "Oh, I'm proud of my heritage." Not like that. The Confederate flag, everyone can wave that. I don't care. You have the right to free speech, free expression. But I just don't. I'm not gonna do it. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to prove that white people do have culture, and that this whole idea of white people not having culture is just insane. I think white people have a very nice culture, in fact. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn notifications on, and share. Go check out these 2 videos you see right now up on screen. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.